toupee, need a new K. New babe, new fade, nigga, new wave. New way, this way if you want K. Don't play, I'm just toupee, need a new K. New babe.
What's up guys, it's Leandra and I'm back with another video. As you could tell by the title, I'm going to be filming my bad high school habits. Bad habits I had in high school. If you guys didn't know, I graduated. I'm now graduated, buddy. It hasn't hit me yet though, to be honest. I don't even feel like I'm done with school. I feel like I still have the rest of my life to do at school, and I don't even know exactly what I'm doing. So let's go back to freshman year. That was the year of 2014 or 15, 14, I think. I don't remember too much, but now that I think about it, I was kind of bad. I feel like freshman year was the beginning of procrastination. Like, that was procrastination at its finest, because in middle school I remember procrastinating a lot. I remember a lot in middle school and elementary school. I never procrastinated. I always got my homework done. I always did everything, whether it was like my mom helping me or anything. So I feel like freshman year was the year where I felt like ultimately I was a free ass bitch and my mom couldn't tell me what to do, pretty much. She definitely did, but I don't know why. But going into high school, I already felt like I was more mature than my class, because there's a long story with it, but I was technically supposed to be in a grade above. I moved here from Washington. They made me repeat the same grade because it's a long story. I'll talk about it another day or something. But I worked it up to where I was below my actual class that I was supposed to be in. So I always felt like I was more mature than I actually was. I feel like in like my freshman year, I felt like I was a whole 18-year-old. I felt like I acted like an 18-year-old, and not now, I don't agree with it, but at freshman-year-old me thought that I was grown. I really thought I was grown. I guess that was a bad habit I had, acting older than I actually was. And I guess in some ways you could say that that's a negative thing, but in a lot of ways I feel like that was positive on me, but anybody else would say that that was negative. Because now, middle schoolers were not on the same shit that I am on now. Or, what the fuck am I saying? Middle schoolers were, like, not on what middle schoolers are on now. That makes sense. Like, they are on a whole nother level of, like, crazy. Messing around, I feel like my freshman year, even my middle school, elementary school years. Elementary, I would always get like on red or yellow because I would be the one messing around, joking. Even in middle school, I was always the one messing around. I guess high school, freshman year, was also the year that I used to mess around with my friends and joke around, because that was the one year that I actually had all of my friends in my classes, and if I didn't have them in one class, I had them in multiple. So all of us together in one room wasn't the best choice, but they did it. So being the class clown, being like extra, I was always doing like that would be bending on their chair, like bending backwards on their chair, accidentally fall, or like I was like the accident-prone funny kid, if that makes sense. Not getting involved. And I feel like that's something that I always wanted to do in high school, was get involved, be in clubs. Like, I wanted to do sports crazy. I only played softball, but besides that, I like wanted to get involved, you know? I wanted to be like president, involved. Like, I wanted to make sure that I was kind of known around the school. I mean, I already was known, but even more known around the school, if that makes sense. Like, you could be known and not be involved, but when you're involved, that's like a whole different other type of known, if that makes sense. But my sophomore year, I feel like that was the year of me being like a rebel and testing shit out, you know. Year that I experimented, the year that, like, I just did a whole bunch of shit. The first thing that pops up was during the year of my glow up, exact words, I was boy crazy. Boy crazy in a sense that I loved attention. Where's my jewel? My elementary school years, my middle school years, and my like freshman year, I always had, my friends were always prettier than me. I was always the ugly friend. As I grew into my body a little bit more, slim, thick, tall, a little bit. And after that, I feel like was when I started getting the attention I saw my friends getting. So I was like, ooh, I'm kind of cute now. I thought I was always cute. I never had bad confidence in myself, but I never got any compliments. But as I grew up, it kind of just came, and I guess I just went through the stage of taking every compliment, using it, and that was the year that I dated. I did all of that. If I didn't, and if I wasn't so into boys during that time, things would be a little bit different. Also, I feel like if I didn't go through that stage earlier, I would have gone through that stage like later, and it would have been weird if I was 19 years old and like being kind of a thought. Not a thought, but like nowadays you get called a thought for just like replying to somebody. So like, yeah, I wasn't even a thought. I just was like, that was just the year that I just got more attractive guys were coming towards me. I don't know how to explain it, guys. I want to make it sound like I was like a thought. I just was too into it, and that was the year that I made new friends. That was the year that I started partying, and then partying lit and like meeting new friends at my school led to me ditching. I started hanging out with like upperclassmen, and once you hang out with upperclassmen and you're an underclassman, that's a feeling that people get. They're like, damn, you lit, sis, like you lit. That's how I felt. I felt cold as fuck. Like that was the year that I was like late, and I procrastinated even more. My junior year was the year where I really feel like I did not give a fuck. I just wanted to be done with school, and I felt like I was in the middle, which junior year you are pretty much not in the middle, but like it's like you're so close to being done, but you're not done. And also I had friends that were graduating like the year I was a junior, so it was just like senior year, you're not gonna be there. There was events that happened. I feel like relationships, I was more focused on relationships, and I should have been focused on myself. Being unmotivated, like I didn't want to do nothing. I was just lazy. Like I worked. I mean, I did stuff. I worked. I wasn't lazy. I didn't do nothing. I did not make money or anything because I love money. But towards the end of the year, I lost a lot of people in my life. I realized a lot of shit, but also I was in the process of learning, so I also let those friend losses get to me, breakups get to me too much because of the person I am. I just took losses of friends seriously. I'm a very emotional person. I ditched way more, where I was ditching 3 days, 4 days. I had moved schools my junior year, so like my second semester, I didn't really like my school, or I mean I liked it, but people I hung out with just like ditched, and I ditched, and it was a ditching party. In school, I always took school very seriously until my junior year, and that's the year where I stopped paying attention. I felt like shit was pointless. I felt like it was stuff I already knew already. It was stuff that I knew I didn't want to. It was kind of the year where I realized what I really wanted to do with my life, and I knew that sitting there in that school wasn't going to help me. My senior year. This was the year where I wanted to be even more done. But when it was done, I was just like, damn, like, what do I do now? That's kind of where I'm at now. Not really what do I do now, because I know what I want to do, but, you know, like, damn, like, you know?
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like summer. and it's summer for me right now, but it doesn't feel like summer. It feels like I'm just have a life now. I feel like I had way more absences. I had moved schools from the school I was at junior year. So I moved to a whole other school, and this school was pretty much school to where I could just get done quicker. The credits were worth way more. Classes were smaller. It was just a smaller school in general. I had never failed a class any of my years. My senior year, I guess, was the year where I knew I was going to be done early, so I slacked off early, if that makes sense. The first semester I was good, I went. And then I didn't get credit for the first semester because I went in the middle of the first semester. So then the second semester I did good. I passed all my classes. And then third semester came. Third semester. I keep on saying semester. Third quarter came. I knew that I should have been done. Like, my credits were up. I knew I should be done. They had lost my credits from the school I went to before. So they only had my 2 years at the first school I went to. I had to wait so long to even get my transcript from the other school, so then they put it in the system to where I had the actual credits. So I ended up pretty much being at the school until fourth quarter. I guess third quarter I knew I was done, so I just didn't go to class as much. I went to some classes because I knew I needed credits for those classes, and I basically I knew in my head what was right, and I knew at the end of the day it was going to be right. Comes fourth quarter, it was really stressful because my school kind of messed it up. You need 240 credits to graduate, and I had 247.5 credits or something, and it was all because I did extra classes I didn't need to, and it's because they lost my transcripts and I was taking classes I didn't need to, whatever. Unmotivated, I never went to my first period ever, not once. I feel bad for my first period teacher. I probably went a couple of times, the first day, second day, and that was it. It was everlasting. I feel like this year felt so long, it was dragged on. Towards the end of the year, I manifested all those feelings that I had and made them even better. Changed my mood, changed my vibe. You guys were kind of wondering about my break. My break was because I was dealing with shit and I lost myself, and I feel like every single time I got in front of the camera, it just wasn't me. So yeah, I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys. Peace out.
In the booth with the Drake. I ain't never been a bitch, but I put titties on the Drake.